Good morning, first English students. So this video is on the unit syntax. Okay. So I guess you all know about syntax definition. Well, let's say the overall idea of this lesson is that see, syntax is arrangement of words and grammar. Okay. So learning grammar is important, and how can we learn grammar? That is a question, and this unit is about that. Okay. So syntax is arrangement of words, how the words are arranged. Okay. And in the previous video, I gave the example by comparing English language and Tamil language. So how the words are arranged in Tamil language and how the words are arranged in English language. So the subject, the doer of the action, and what is the action, and on which object the action is done. Okay. So the arrangement of words differs from one language to another language. So when we learn how the words are arranged, naturally we learn the language. Okay. And especially we have to learn grammar, then only we can learn the language in a proper way. Okay. And let's say this is my personal opinion, but it is not given in the book and it is not acceptable also. And my personal opinion is that there is no need for us to learn grammar and other things. Okay. Say for example, if we do not know Chinese language, if I am placed, if I am forced or whatever it may be, if I am placed in China, and let's say within 6 months I will be fluent in Chinese language. Within 6 months I can develop fluency in Chinese language. There is nothing. There is no need for me to join a course. A Chinese teacher should teach me. I have to practice a lot. I have to learn Chinese grammar, Chinese literature. There is no need for those things. Okay. And if I simply live in China for 6 months, and as people surrounded by me is only Chinese, and there is no scope for me to use my own mother tongue, naturally I will be able to develop fluency in Chinese language. Though I may not know how to read or how to write, but I know how to speak Chinese language, provided I should live in Chinese language, China, and I don't have any scope to use my mother tongue. If this is the case, definitely I can develop fluency in Chinese language. Okay. And if I happen to live in China for more than 5 years, there is no need for me to for a teacher. Definitely I will be able to read, and if I happen to live more than 10 years, provided that I should have interest to read and write, I should practice myself. Okay. If this is the case, naturally I will be able to write also. Writing is a problem. Even reading also there is no problem. Okay. If given 5 years time, without a teacher or grammar, learning grammar, anyone can learn how to read. But writing is the problem. Writing needs a teacher, and appreciating literature, everything needs a teacher. Okay, a teacher in the sense grammar is also essential. Okay, so the time factor is a problem. If I join a course, okay, how to learn Chinese language, so there is a teacher in India or in Pondicherry or whatever it may be, or even if I go to China, and within the 6 months of course, if we have a teacher, then and I should be motivated to learn Chinese language, and I should have interest in learning Chinese language, and if there is a teacher, then I can learn the language within 6 months. Okay. So the time factor matters a lot. Let's say within 6 months we have to learn the language. If this is the condition, then we need to definitely, if this is the condition, then I also accept that we should know grammar. There should be a teacher, and he should teach how to write a letter, and what are all the how the letter is pronounced, and how sentences should be constructed, and what are idioms and phrases. Everything a teacher should teach me. Or if you don't have teacher, a proper book should be prepared. Okay. So if this is the case, grammar is essential. And what kind of grammar is what the question. Okay. So apart from Chinese example, the points that you have to mention here is grammar is essential to learn language. Okay, what kind of grammar that we are going to learn is the problem. So here we have various types of grammar which have its own advantage and disadvantages, and what are all those things. That is what we are going to learn. Okay, so first of all, the traditional grammar, and there is no advantage in learning traditional grammar. Not even a single point about the advantage of learning a traditional grammar is given in this book, and even it is not important even from the exam point of view also. Even from the exam point of view, studying the disadvantages of traditional grammar is not necessary. So let's say yet for the sake of better understanding, we will learn. But from exam point of view, I strongly recommend there is no need for us to study the disadvantages of traditional grammar. Okay, actually we discussed 2 points of traditional grammar. Let's say you have to write, though it is not given, but I want you to write the definition of traditional grammar. I myself give you the definition of traditional grammar. See, learning the rules, and then learning the examples and practicing the exercises. Okay, so this is said to be traditional grammar. Okay, learning the rules and the definitions of grammar items, and then learning the examples, and then practicing the exercises. Okay, so this is said to be traditional grammar. When we do this, we will never be able to learn the language. So this is what the experience, this is what experts and linguists the linguist are the person who study about the language. Okay, so linguist, everyone recommend that traditional grammar is no way useful to learn the language, but everyone accept that learning grammar is essential. Okay, so what then we have to discover, we have to theorize the various grammar. Okay, so what are all the theories? Okay, well, let's say we shall learn the, we shall have a short revision of the disadvantages of that is the fallacies or mistakes in traditional grammar. The third point, mixing up different criteria. A single word could be used both as noun and verb. For example, water or waters. I want water to drink. He waters the plant. That is, அவன் வந்து தண்ணி ஊத்துறான். Okay, the word water can be used as verb. And in the first sentence, I want some water to drink. Okay, here water is used as noun, and he waters the plants. Okay, so the word water could be used as verb also. Okay, so such kind of analysis are simply ignored in traditional grammar. The same word could be used as noun as well as verb. Okay, so this is the this is the mistake of traditional grammar. And fourth point, normative fallacy. Okay, the traditional grammar focuses only on rules, which is not useful to learn the language. See, traditional grammar gives more importance to rules. Okay, and Learning the rules alone cannot help any student to learn the language. Okay, so this is also a fallacy, and it is called as normative fallacy. And fifth one is perspective fallacy. Okay, so it has the principle that rules are formed first and then language are formed, which is wrong. Okay, see, if you take any language, first of all, spoken form was formed in any language, Tamil language or any language, and first spoken form is formed, and then only we have written form, and after written form only grammar is formed. Okay, so no language, okay, there is automatically there is grammar rules and regulations, and since there is grammar rules and regulation, and then language formed, and then spoken form of the language is formed, that is wrong. Okay, but the principle of traditional grammar follows this way. There is rules and regulations, there is grammar, and from that we have to learn that rules and regulations are very important. By hearting the definition of noun, verb, pronoun, and parts of speech, and kinds of nouns, kinds of adjectives, they are learning these the rules and regulations are very important. Then only you can learn the language. So based on this principle, traditional grammar follows, which is actually wrong, which is actually a mistake. Okay, and then the logical fallacy, sixth point. It believes that everything in language comes under rules, but that is not possible. Okay, so everything comes under a rule. Okay, see, even when I was a student, say for example, ask, asked, asked. Okay, and run, ran, run. Okay, so that's how there are three forms of verbs. In case of put, cut, telecast, telecast. Okay, so these are all exceptions. Okay, but the general rule is that when we add ed to any verb, then it becomes past tense. Okay, so this is a rule. This rule cannot be applied to all the verbs. So telecast, telecasted, telecasten. There is no, in English there is no word called telecast, telecasten. Okay, so even if you take the word righted, it is wrong word. Write, wrote, written. Okay, and even putted, P-U-T-T-E-D, that is also wrong word. But if you apply the rule, if you add ed to any verb, it becomes past tense. So rules cannot be applied in all the words, in all situations. Okay, see, I write a letter, he writes a letter. If I say he write a letter, it is wrong, grammatically it is wrong. Okay, so we have to add yes. If it is third person singular and present tense, simple present tense, naturally we have to add yes to the verb. Why should we add a yes to the verb? That we do not know. That is a convention. The word convention is important. I will explain later. So that is a convention, and that is that convention we have to follow. He writes a letter. It speaks. Okay, and remember the exception, again the exception. Everybody is waiting for you. Everybody writes an essay. Okay, everybody, the word everybody, நிறைய பேர் எல்லாரும். Naturally it is not singular, but we have to add yes to the verb. He writes a letter. Ram writes a letter. This is a grammatically correct sentence. Everybody writes a letter. This is also a grammatically right sentence. Sam and Ram write a letter. Sam and Ram write a letter. Everybody writes a letter. So absolutely complicated grammar system is followed in English. Even Tamil Tamil also follows a simplified grammar system, but English follows absolutely a complicated grammar system, and there is no point in adding yes when we have they write a letter. Okay, so such all the grammar rules cannot be followed. Okay, so the rule says for third person singular and present tense we have to add yes. It cannot be applicable to all situations, and the rule says we have to add ed to the verb. When we add ed to the verb, it became past tense. This rule also cannot be applied to all the situations. Okay, so lack of explicitness. Certain exceptions are ignored. I mean, this point is extension of the sixth point, that is logical fallacy. So all rules cannot be applied, and let's say the word telecast. Telecast is a recent word. When television was invented, and when television was invented, and the word telecast is coined. Okay, so the word telecast is coined, and new word is invented, and when we invent a new word, naturally how to the grammatical rules cannot be applied to the to those words. How to use they are telecasting the program. Okay, they are broadcasting the program. They have broadcast the program. So it depends on situation. We ourselves can form the rules and regulations. But if you follow traditional grammar, then we no, this is the rule. You cannot include this word. Such is not possible. Okay, so there are certain exceptions. Okay, and in certain situation, in all the situations, we cannot apply the grammatical rules. Okay, in certain situation, we have to break, just to make them understand. That is the main purpose of learning grammar. Okay, and I have to make you understand. So if, let's say if I communicate in English without grammar mistake, I have to communicate. Then only you will be able to understand. Main purpose of learning grammar is to make you understand. Okay, to make the listeners understand. Okay, so when this is the, I mean, the rules cannot be applied in all the situations. And so the eighth point, neglect of spoken form. It never focuses on spoken form. See, if we learn the grammar and other things, the definition, we cannot be fluent in English language. Okay, so we will never be able to develop fluency in English language. So this is another mistake in learning traditional grammar, and ignoring language variations. It ignores the common people's dialect. Yes, this is see, certain words are applicable in certain dialect. Okay, and this is also wrong. And the language spoken in Tirunelveli, the language spoken in Coimbatore, the language spoken in Tanjavur, all the people speak Tamil language. We have to accept this. Okay, so we cannot say that the people who the BBC English, the people who work in BBC, and the people who work who live in Oxford University, and that English alone is the perfect English, and what the English which we speak is not at all English, then it is not good for English language itself. Okay, so see, we are learning phonetics, the study of sounds in the language. Okay, naturally my pronunciation is not up to the British people. okay, which I will never be able to learn that accent. That is post-colonial theory that you will study in the 8th semester, and we as Indians, it is natural for Indians to talk in English with their mother tongue. However, I work hard. Of course, if I work hard, definitely I can follow the British accent. But I should, after learning the British accent, I should not consider you as inferior. Okay, so I learned a British accent. See how with have you written the examination? Hey, how are you? So the British accent. Oh, see, I speak British accent. Okay, so since I speak British accent, you are inferior to me. This attitude is wrong. Okay, so these points, these ideas you will learn in 8th semester beginning theories. And see, we speak with Indian, our accent is Indian accent. Okay, actually there's nothing wrong in it. This idea all of us should learn. Okay, so we cannot simply ignore the dialects or the accent of common people. Okay, so finally they forget the fact that language rules tend to change. See, the same grammar cannot be followed, the grammar which Shakespeare followed cannot be followed today. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. Words, meaning of words, grammar, everything changes from one age to another age. Okay, so without understanding the basic facts of a language, traditional grammar is followed, and therefore we have to reject traditional grammar. Okay, so why I explained in detail, you know something more about language. When we learn something more about language, it is good to learn the other kinds of grammar. Okay, so now let me introduce this topic, structural or descriptive linguistics and grammar. Structural or descriptive linguistics and grammar. Okay, so in 20th century, structural grammar became popular. Okay, so in 20th century, structural grammar became popular. So what is it, structural grammar? So we have 10 principles. Actually, this is important. Okay, so please, actually I summarized the 10 points, and whether it is important or not, whether the question is asked from this topic or not, but this is important to learn the basic principles of grammar, to learn about a language. Okay, so what are the principles, and how the language functions? ஒரு மொழி எப்படி செயல்படுது அப்படின்றத ஒரு 10 பாயிண்ட் அப்படி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. A language is based on utterances by native speakers. Its pattern should be discovered. So language is nothing but how the native speakers speak the language. So I am a Tamilian, we are Tamilians. Okay, and how we speak Tamil language, and that should be given importance. Okay, so there are various grammar rules and regulations. So Tamil grammar is divided as எழுத்து இலக்கணம், சொல் இலக்கணம், பொருள் இலக்கணம், யாப்பு இலக்கணம், அணி இலக்கணம். And in எழுத்து இலக்கணம் there are various subdivisions and definitions. So if an Englishman wants to learn Tamil language, studying this grammar is not at all going to be useful for him. Okay, and how we as Tamilians use the language, and that's how an Englishman should learn the Tamil language. Similarly, we also, rather than studying grammar, how the native speakers use English language, and accordingly we have to use the English language. So this is the first principle. So rather than studying grammar, how the native speakers speak this language. Okay, and the second point, the analysis of language proceeds from smallest unit to largest unit. So from smallest unit to largest unit, we have to learn the language. So So that is words and phrases, and then sentences, and then paragraph and essay. Okay, so words, sentences, and that's how we have to learn the language. Okay, so immediately we cannot expect anyone to write an essay. Okay, simple words, say how are you, तुम्हारा नाम क्या है, and that is the only sentence that I learn that I know in Hindi language. Okay, this is what this is how you have to say how are you in Hindi. So some basic sentences we have to we have to learn the language. Okay, so some simple unit to largest unit. So, okay, 2 points structural grammar is over, and okay, thank you.